What's up guys, and welcome back to Victory Calisthenics. In today's video we're going to be going over how to do a perfect pull-up. By following all the steps in this video, you're going to be learning how to get the perfect pull-up and get the most out of the exercise. And remember guys, if you want to increase strength and build muscle, doing your pull-ups correctly is going to be extremely important. If you work really hard on your perfect pull-ups, you'll also be able to move on to more advanced pull-up variations. Now the muscles that are going to be worked when you're doing your pull-up are going to be your lats, your back overall, your rear delts, biceps, your forearms, obviously as you're gripping the bar pretty hard, and you're also going to be engaging your core throughout the exercise to maintain stability. Of course, to begin with, you're going to need a pull-up bar. This can be outdoors, at home, in a gym, it doesn't really matter. For those of you who live in a city or a large neighborhood, you can often find park areas that have bars that you can use for your pull-ups. And if you can't find that anywhere near you, you can also buy a pull-up bar that you can set up in your door frames relatively cheap. And if that's not an option, there are ways to cheaply make your own pull-up bars. Just if you do that, make sure that it's safe, make sure everything's secure and the bar doesn't roll out of place and you don't injure yourself. Because I don't want to be responsible for that, of course. So make sure that if you're doing your own pull-up bar, do it safely. To start off, we're going to be going over hand position on the pull-up bar. Place your hands on the bar with your palms facing away from you. Make sure that you grab the bar with about shoulder width grip. A little bit wider is okay. I tend to go a little bit wider, and keep in mind guys that we're all built slightly differently. So play around with this, find what's most comfortable for you. Just make sure that you don't go too wide, because if you do, you may be putting your shoulder joint in a vulnerable position and you don't want to get injured or have any discomfort that builds up over time. Once you've found your hand distance on the bar, we're going to be talking about your hand grip. Now there are different opinions on this, and there is a correct way to grip the bar and there's the way that I grip the bar, and I'm sure other people grip the bar the same way I do. So the correct way to grip the bar is going to be putting your fingers over the bar and thumb under, for the simple reason that this is going to be working your forearms more effectively, improving your grip strength and allowing you to do more reps, and also pull a lot more weight if you do start to do weighted pull-ups. Fingers over, thumb under is going to be much more effective essentially. Now the way that I grip the pull-up bar is with my fingers over and thumb kind of resting on top of the bar. And the reason I do this is because I have calluses, and you will have calluses too if you do pull-ups very often, and it actually really hurts. So when I'm doing my pull-ups and I grip the bar the correct way, it kind of pulls and pinches my calluses, and when I get to the end of a set, it's actually so sore that I can't even hold the bar anymore. So what I do is I actually rest the bar on my fingers now, and I create a hook with my finger, and I rely on my finger strength when doing my pull-ups. So far it hasn't held me back, and I've been able to progress pretty regularly. I mean, I'm continuously progressing. Obviously it's slower as you get more advanced, but I am able to progress. It hasn't slowed me down yet, so for now I'm going to continue with this hand grip. I'm not going to tell you guys what to do, because you're going to have to figure this out for yourself by trying it and just over time what you find is more comfortable. But I am telling you that the correct way to do it and the recommended way to do it is with your fingers over, thumb under. Let's get back to the actual pull-up. When you start your pull-up, think about scapular retraction. So this is when you pull your shoulder blades down and back and you engage the muscles in your back that are required to do the pull-up. It's really important to focus on this part of the exercise, as it will allow you to become stronger and more efficient with your pull-ups. So definitely focus on that and make sure you get good at that. Even if it does feel kind of unnatural, speaking from experience, it did feel kind of weird the first time I did it, the whole pulling yourself down with your full body weight hanging on your hands. Does feel a bit weird, but you will get used to it, and it's important to get good at it. Once you've retracted your scapula and you've engaged all the muscles that are necessary to start your pull-up, you're just going to be pulling yourself all the way up and then lowering yourself all the way down with control. Make sure that you control the exercise from start to finish. Always use a full range of motion and keep your core engaged throughout. And guys, you have to promise me that you're not going to be doing any kipping or any half reps, because the only person you're lying to, the only person you're cheating is going to be yourself. Something really important to consider as well when you get to the top position of your pull-up is to avoid stretching your neck out. So if you have to stretch your neck to actually clear the bar with your chin, that's not good. You want to make sure that you're pulling the bar where it needs to be without you actually having to stretch your neck. I know that naturally when you're doing a pull-up, you tend to want to stick your neck out, and I'm not gonna lie, it does happen to me sometimes, especially when I'm pulling really heavy weight and I'm testing my strength with weighted pull-ups. I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I do it perfectly. I do obviously stretch out slightly, but I always pull the bar where it needs to be. I don't touch the bar here, that's not good enough. If my chin touches the bar, for me that's a no rep, it doesn't even count. The bar has to touch just above my Adam's apple, and that's what I use as a guide to complete the rep. So it's good to give yourself a target and get used to the feeling of the bar actually touching a certain point, and it has to at least touch that point or further to actually make the rep count. The last thing that I want you guys to be really careful of when you're doing your pull-ups is not snapping your joints into place as you lower yourself down. So what I'm talking about is when you lower yourself down from the pull-up and you just go boom like that really hard, snap your elbows, snap your shoulder, and snap your wrist joint just really quickly into place, because you're putting a lot of pressure, a lot of strain, not pressure so much because you're pulling apart, but you're putting a lot of strain on your joints, and once again, you might injure yourself, you might create discomfort over time, and you definitely don't want to do that. You want to avoid that. We're trying to train to be healthy, and we want to be doing it for the years to come. So do it safely, do it correctly, and when you lower yourself down from your pull-up, always do it with complete control. Just before I end the video, I want to quickly touch on different ways of doing the perfect pull-up. I have seen pull-up tutorials where they use a slightly arched back position to recruit the most amount of muscle fibers and get the best contraction when doing a pull-up. And just to be clear, this is something that I do agree with, but it's not what I do. I personally find it extremely uncomfortable doing the pull-ups this way. I don't know if it's personal to me. I just don't like the feeling. It kind of feels like I'm putting a lot of strain on my lower back because it's kind of hanging, even with my core engaged. It doesn't feel very comfortable. Then again, I do have a slightly sensitive lower back. That's why I don't do squats anymore actually, or weighted barbell squats anyway. Still do pistol squats. But yeah, I feel slight discomfort in my lower back, and that's why I tend to avoid it. But if you are someone that's looking for maximal muscle contraction when you're doing your pull-ups, this is definitely a good way to do it. When I'm doing my pull-ups, I'm personally looking to maximize the amount of reps I can do and also how much weight I can pull when I'm doing my weighted pull-ups. There is no way that I would manage to pull nearly as much weight as I pull or do as many reps as I do if I had that full arched back position. And often when I see people that do this tutorial, or when they show this way of doing the pull-up with the arched back in the tutorial, and then I look on Instagram to see them doing maximum amount of pull-up with maximum amount of weight or maximum amount of reps, you often see that that form is not used when they're really putting in a maximum effort. And I'm not saying this to criticize them, because in the tutorial, and like I'm saying right now, it is a really good way to maximize your muscle contraction and all the muscles in your back when you're doing your pull-up. But it's extremely hard to keep that form when you're doing weighted pull-ups or you're trying to go for a maximum amount of reps. So the way I do my pull-ups is the way you see me doing it in this video. It will be the same way you see it on my Instagram or in any other video I do related to pull-ups. That's the way I do them. The way I do pull-ups has allowed me to build a lot of muscle, a lot of strength, and most importantly, the way I do my pull-ups is safe. So I just want to be clear with you guys that my version of the perfect pull-up isn't the only perfect pull-up. This tutorial is basically my perfect pull-up, what works best for me, because all my videos are from experience. So there are preferences and slight variations on what is considered a perfect pull-up. Now that I've gone over that and kind of cleared that, just gotten that out of the way, I just want to go over the main points and the main things you want to consider when you're doing your pull-ups. Your hand position is going to be around shoulder width apart. Remember to play around with this, figure out what works best for you. Just don't go too wide because you don't want to put your shoulder joint in a vulnerable position. Each rep has to go all the way up, all the way down with complete control, a complete range of motion, no kipping, no half reps. And of course, keep your core engaged and always protect your joints. Of course, when you're just starting out, you won't have complete control over the exercise, and this is okay because you're just learning. But the end goal is to be able to check all the steps that are in this video and perfect your pull-up over time. So guys, that's more or less it for the pull-up. It's nothing complicated, you just need to go through all the steps that were mentioned in this video and focus on the small details to perfect your pull-up over time and eventually get that perfect pull-up. I hope everything was clear, I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know if you have any questions. Don't hesitate, just drop them in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. And of course, don't forget to like the video if it helped you out, if you did enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos because there's going to be a lot more coming soon. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay strong. Peace out.
Better off, better